Welcome back to the channel. Got a new addition to the channel, to the fleet. This is my new 1954 Willys truck. A true classic. My other classics, if you want to call them classics, are from 83 and 84. This is a 1954 67-year-old Willys truck, and in great condition. Found it in Buena Vista, Colorado, where the climate is high and dry. Very, very good condition, very good atmosphere to put vehicles like this in, so they don't rust and fall apart and become Swiss cheese and unrepairable. So this is my new 1954 Willys truck, and not as unicorn as this. This is my scrambler. Little update on that. There's some lift springs. 1, 2, 3. Gonna need one more. And I've got the shocks, the U-bolts, the shims. Entire kit is here other than the 4th spring. And it may or may not be in Colorado. We think it is. We think the delivery just forgot one. But that'll be on shortly. It's a 2.5-inch lift. It's going to go on the scrambler, the old wagon there. And so the 54 is going to join the group. This runs and drives. It is not a showpiece, not a museum piece. It will not ever be. That's not what I do. That's not why I do this. I like to just take these old survivors that are in good condition, make them better condition, drive them, enjoy them, take them out to shows. If you even want to call it a restoration, I just get it back in working order to where I'm comfortable and confident that it will get me from A to B every single time I get in it. And that's the goal. And just enjoy them and let other people see them and enjoy them as well when I'm out and about. So that's what this is. And so from 81 to call it 85 and a half, 86, they made all of 27,000 scramblers, which makes that rare. This right here, from 1947-ish to 1965-ish, they made clear over 200,000. So there is no unicorn in the production numbers on this. Now, if it had been a different model, possibly. The bed would have been an indication of how it would have come off the factory floor. But this is serial number 14,822. So the first number really doesn't mean anything. They started their serial numbers with 10,000. So 10,001 would have been serial number 1. This is 14,822. I'll get it right eventually. So they made, just 4,822. And so they made, from what I can research, 4,927 back in 1954 of this makeup, the model, how it came off the factory. So if they made them in sequential order, which that's a big maybe. Sometimes they'll make them and they won't run it apart or something, and they'll put it in the back and they'll make a few more and come back to this one. So if they did go in sequential order, there was only 105 built after this in 1954 that came off the line in this trim, in this spec. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I'm trying to find something that's cool, right? And it's got the Super Hurricane, the straight 6. They call that the L head, and I think it was all of 90 or 110 horsepower. But the spring rate and the payload was so enormous. This is actually considered a 1-ton truck. Just amazing. And it actually rides kind of smooth. I mean, it's a truck, but there's been a lot replaced from previous owners, and we'll go through that through other videos and whatnot. It's got brand new tires on it that are replicas, and I'm going to get a 5th one because the 5th wheel is there, but not a 5th tire. So they did make some changes. So I believe it's 47 through 49-ish. These had flat front grills, kind of like a CJ would have, and in my mind, just kind of really ugly. And then in 50, from 50 to 53, they put this V-shaped grill on it that kind of protrudes out like that, and they had 5 horizontal bars on it. I know we think of 7-slot society, but these had 5 horizontal slots from 50 to 53, and 54 was the first year that they went to 3. The 3 horizontal slots, and they carried that through all the way to the end. all the way to 65-ish when they stopped producing this. And so that was kind of cool. 54 is the first year of the 3 horizontals. The front bumper is correct. I don't think that beauty bar is. The previous owner, and some great patina on that I'm going to restore. That is a correct bumper, but I don't believe that beauty push bar, or however you want to call it, would have come on this. These, like I said, were more farm and utilitarian. That might have been off a Willys wagon, because those were more, I guess, better looking, or however you want to look at it. It does have the splash guard, which is really rare, so it does have that down there. I got kind of lucky on that. The wheels from the previous owner, they were just caked on with paint. Just caked and caked with multiple layers of garbage paint. He actually had those correctly stripped and blasted back to the metal, and he had them powder coated this gray color. And it's kind of cool because they look just like my 2020 Gladiator, the Sting gray color. So I'm digging it. I do like those. Now these are, I believe, welded wheels. I'm not sure what year they were doing that. Now the spare wheel is actually riveted. It's going to be kind of hard to see on the camera, but I'm going to try to show you these rivets. So I believe this wheel goes back a little further. If you can see, there's actually rivets that put this wheel together right in the center. So it's going to be a good spare. I'm going to put the exact same tire on it. Those are brand new tires. They're actually 32-inch tires. So they're going to go back, a spare one there. Now obviously the paint is in rough condition, but that's again what I wanted. Don't want a showpiece. I don't care for a showpiece. It's not what I do or who I am. They did make what's called Bristol, I believe, Bristol Red, and they didn't put paint spec codes like on a data plate or stamped anywhere. I believe until 1961 they started doing that. So there was nothing on the vehicle that would have stated what it was painted when it came off the factory floor. But I've looked under door jambs, I've looked behind pieces where, why would you paint it? It's a utilitarian farm truck. Look at those door jambs. Everything's red. The floor pans, that, like I said, they were replaced. Even the glove box, it's even got the original sticker, guys. Can you believe that one? If you know, you know, right? That's not always there, if ever. So I don't think this was painted red. After it was painted, you know, if it came, like, call it white, and they decided to paint this red, I'm pretty certain it was painted red. But over the years it's been repainted, obviously, and by a paintbrush. I mean, there's some brutal lines where they would just slap it on, and, you know, paint it with a brush. And that's okay. I'm going to deal with that. And I've got some cool plans that I want to deal with that with, and make it look cool, correct. And I'm not going to spend but $10 at the store to do it. So in 54, let's go back. They did the V grill in 50, 53, and then in 54 they changed the horizontal bars to 3. That's a correct windshield, the split windshield. Oh, and the rear glass. So in 54 they went to a large rear window. From 47 to 53 it was tiny, and I'm sure it was a safety concern, because you couldn't see much out of the back of it. Real tiny little oval, cool to look at, but probably useless in life. So they went to this real large rear window in 54, and they kept that through 65. And so from what I did the research on, a man named John Willys, he's the creator of what they called Willys Overland. And so he made cars way back from the 1900s to 1950s. I mean, he made them for a long time. So the tailgate would have had this really cool embossed W right here, and with a kind of an O, and a lot of people will paint those and make them pop. Well, the last year for that was 1953, because in 54, which is this year, Kaiser took over the manufacturing. And so Kaiser implemented these changes. The front grille, the rear window, the tailgate. So they stenciled it from the factory with this Willys in the font right here, and then they did the four-wheel drive. right there. And so that's correct. That's absolutely correct. Now, of course, the other ones, even in my admission, they do look cooler. But like I said, this is going to be correct. So it's going to keep that. Now, the tail lights, if you're noticing, those are from a Model A, I believe, an old Ford. And so the two previous owners ago was really into them. He had quite a few of those trucks and cars, and loved those tail lights, and he probably had an extra set laying around and popped them on this. Now the Willys tail light isn't much different than that. It was round rather than that kind of oval rectangle looking thing. Had a kind of a shiny bezel to it as well, and no purple dot in the middle. So I might change those out. I might keep them. I don't know. They're kind of cool. And the Model A guys will notice that, and it'll trigger them. I'm sure they'll get triggered from it. So yeah, some cool ideas with the paint. I'm going to go through on other videos. The bed's all there. Everything's there. You can't see through it. You don't see daylight. It's all there, guys. It's kind of cool. No big dents, no big, impacts from heavy loads. It's just utilitarian, man. These were farm vehicles and used up and just thrown away. So here's a Survivor. So they made, in this trim, if I haven't already discussed it, 4,927 of them in 1954. This has a serial number of 4,822. Now when I say that, obviously put a 1 on the front of that. So it's 14,822 out of 14,927, but the first one doesn't mean anything. They started serial number 1, it was 10,001. If they did them in sequential order, I don't know if they did or not. This would have been the last. They would have produced 105 more beyond this in 1954, and that would have been it until they changed over to 1955. So there's a little cool factor there. It's got all the bits and pieces. It runs and drives. It does what it's supposed to. The 4-wheel drive works. The high and low work. But there's things for me to do. There's things for me to continue and restore on this and bring it back to a better place and more life and longevity. So we're going to go over that over a lot more videos, and it's going to be fun. I like it. And of course the Scrambler, if I can get that 4th spring, she'll be up on a 2.5-inch lift, which will give it a real cool stance. And if the future pans out, this is going to have other changes coming to it, but long time in the future. So for now, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to go through it, wash it, and just get down to it, man. It's what we do. So subscribe, like, comment. If I screwed up some facts, correct me, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.